Hello, everybody. Today I would like to shed a little bit of light on the autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD for short. So, what is ASD? It is a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, speech, and nonverbal communication. First off, my name is Jordan Blevins. I'm an aspiring game developer, and unlike how it may seem, I am somebody with ASD. This was me as a child, maybe a couple years after I had found out that I was on the spectrum. As a kid, I would have anger bursts and throw tantrums, all because I just didn't know how to convey my emotions. When we are young, we don't really tend to know these things. It also shed some light into me figuring out that anger was the only emotion I could really show. Personally, I like to tell everybody that my autism makes me emotionally disconnected from a lot of things. This way, they understand my robotic kind of personality. It's taken years of therapy and counseling to finally feel like I'm stable enough as a person to be able to communicate with everyone in my life. Yet I am not the only person like this. 1 in 68 people are diagnosed with a form of ASD. That's 117 million people in the world affected by it. That's just about 10 million short of Japan's entire population. And the numbers are expected to rise in the near future. ASD affects everyone differently, and that's why it's a spectrum. So that makes things really complicated, right? Somebody once said, he's not giving us a hard time, he's having a hard time. Once we can shift from negative reactions to proactive reaction, we can better understand and help people affected by ASD. Now, the core behavior comes from the fact that people with ASD have much different thought processes. For instance, most people will start a jigsaw puzzle by doing the whole outline. What if I said there's people who start from the middle, or start from a given section instead? It isn't because they want to, just so they can stand out. They just look at something a little bit differently than the average person. So, as a game developer, I've been independently working on an application for people with and without ASD, with the purpose of helping them understand what is ASD. This application is packed with helpful tools like meditation practices and educational videos on behavioral patterns. This is something I never had as a child or growing man, and it could really help in the long run. They say children are like sponges. They soak in information and retain it better than even most full grown individuals. So I've also been tailoring this application to be simple enough that a child could utilize it on their own as well. How would the world feel and look if more people were just aware of ASD and its growing influences on individuals? It could really become a beautiful place because autism isn't something to shun or be afraid of. It's a really beautiful disorder that can bring many brilliant people into the world. Albert Einstein, Mozart, and Sir Isaac Newton are all said to have exhibited autistic tendencies. So before we take a look at someone for their disorder and shun them as different, we should better understand them as individuals with their own hardships in life. Let's create that world for everyone because we are just like everyone else.